Heyo everyone and welcome. I'm your friend artofmana, and let's dive into an awesome video reviewing the Mario Direct with my friend 8-Bit Dad 7DC, otherwise known as Seth, and that's how I'll be referring to him throughout the rest of this video. Hey Seth!
Hello, Mana. Thank you for having me. I'm way excited to discuss the Direct with you.
Awesome. It's my pleasure. I'm so happy to have you on here. I'll tell you right now, you've been a member of the community here for a long time. I think we met through one of my streams. I can't remember which one it was. Do you remember?
I I was getting ready for bed and I was ready to rock my kids to sleep, and I just searched for streams with the family friendly tag, and yours was on there, and so I clicked on it, and I was it's funny because I watched it for a little while, and then I was like, okay, this is good, I'm going to come back to it later. So I hit follow and I was ready to leave, and then everyone was like, oh, hi, how are you, how's it going? And it was just so, it was like overwhelmingly nice and kind, and so I was like, oh, I guess I'll stay and watch for a little more. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
Aw, that's awesome. Well, I do remember, I remember just, really quickly we kind of discovered that you loved retro. I mean, I loved the name right off the bat, I'm a big fan of retro. I'm a big fan of the old pixel art. I'm a big fan of the NES. The very first game I ever played, appropriately enough, was Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And so I saw that. I saw that you're a dad. I'm a dad as well. And it just made sense. So I was like, we're going to be friends.
Oh yeah, totally
And
clicked.
yeah. And now, if you don't know, Seth also makes videos on YouTube and streams. You can find him over at 8-Bit Dad 7DC, right?
Yep, over on YouTube and Twitch.
We'll have links, as people say, we'll have links in the doobly-doo, right?
That's right.
So today we're here to talk pretty informally and pretty casually about something that just launched. It was the Nintendo Direct Super Mario 35th Anniversary Showcase. Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
This is the king of Nintendo right here, Mario, right? So you would think that of all things, and for a 35th anniversary, you'd think Nintendo really would have, made a huge effort to try and promote this and make it a live event, but they didn't. What do you make of that?
2020 has obviously thrown everyone for a loop with the COVID outbreak. And, I say 2020 for COVID because I'm based here in the States. I know that it's been affecting Asia since 2019, since the end of 2019.
Right.
And it's just thrown a wrench in everyone's plans. And you could see that with things that were going on in Japan that started to slow down or get postponed or not happen. You could tell that Nintendo wanted to have the 35th anniversary of Mario be a bigger deal. I remember at the end of the Olympics, the Winter Olympics, when they were passing the torch over to Tokyo that would host the next Olympics, they had a guy come in a Mario suit, and he goes down a pipe, and then he comes up in Tokyo, and that was how they did the handoff. And I thought that was so cool that Mario is a part of this transition for the Olympics.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I really think Nintendo had that planned out. There was supposed to be Super Nintendo Land in Japan that was supposed to open this year. We were going to have the Olympics in Tokyo. And that was the Super Nintendo Land, the theme park, was supposed to open just a few weeks before the Olympics. And I think Nintendo was ready to incorporate all of this into the 35th anniversary of Mario. But then when things just ground to a halt, things just kind of slowed down.
I think that's a really good point. Actually, I think that one thing I hear a lot of people complain about, especially this year, is what is Nintendo doing? There's no lineup for 2020. There's no new games. What's going on? Why isn't Nintendo making anything? My feeling is that we always have to remember that Nintendo is first and foremost a creative company. They're a business. And you could even say they're a video game business, but I think even more importantly, they are a creative company. They're always working through a creative process to try and bring the best entertainment they can, the best games that they can, the best experiences for gamifying exercise that they can. All of these things, including theme parks, including movies, including toys, the Lego Mario, which actually just so happen to have right here. Actually, he's scary right now. Let's actually turn him on. There we go. He's awesome. Like, this is the most amazing thing. My daughter and I are playing with this, and we're just loving it. Um, Nintendo is creative, and the creative process isn't just something that you kind of churn out. In fact, if you do, usually the end result suffers for it. You know, Nintendo has historically taken its time to make sure that a good game is produced and put out rather than something mediocre and rushed. And so it occurred to me that we sort of think, oh, nothing's been announced, so Nintendo isn't doing anything. And I just always try and keep the mindset Nintendo is doing something. You know, during the Wii U generation, a lot of people said Nintendo is doomed. Well, what were they working on during that? The Switch. And now look, they skyrocketed to success. And, you know, right now, I think it was very intentional that they have this break. I think they would have had a break despite COVID post Animal Crossing New Horizons, because that game is just such a big experience, and there's new content continually rolling out. But let's talk about directs for a moment. You were telling me before we started that you've kind of you've had conversations with people about how important is a Nintendo Direct these days.
Yeah, just the brand of the Nintendo Direct. I mean, this started back during the Wii U with Satoru Iwata, and every time a Nintendo Direct was announced, we had about 4 of them a year, and it was just an event. And it was great because when they first started, it was this mini E3. They were all about Nintendo first-party games and announcements. Then they started the Indie World Showcase, and that was good. Oh, okay, here's a bunch of indie games, and they would usually throw in a big announcement there, like with Cadence of Hyrule, something to keep you excited.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good one, too.
And then this year, yeah, they started throwing in these Nintendo Direct minis. And we got used to Nintendo Direct Mini. It's usually more informal, a bunch of headlines. And then we started to get the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. And then we started, okay, Nintendo puts out an announcement. We're going to have a Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. And people get just as excited for this Direct as they do for any other Direct. And so they watch it. And it's not the same. And to be fair, Nintendo told us it's not the same. It's a Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. And so people were disappointed. The Nintendo Direct brand is so powerful that if Nintendo puts out a Nintendo Direct in any way, shape, or form, I'm probably going to watch it. And so I watch it and I see these announcements for some of these games. And so now I know that there was a WWE game announced, and I was like, okay, now I know that. I wouldn't have known that if it wasn't in a Nintendo Direct. You know, the brand of a Nintendo Direct carries a lot of weight, and I think they were kind of diluting that brand loyalty with all these Nintendo Direct minis that were coming out, and to the point where everyone was just like, well, when are we going to get a real one? When are we going to get a regular one? And since they just dropped it, and we all liked it, I feel like that brought the Nintendo Direct brand back up to where we all think it should be. So I don't know. Did you have the same feeling from that? Did you? What do you think?
You know, well, there's been this interesting thing that's been happening in recent years with how Nintendo is promoting their products. Obviously, they were the first to do something different at E3. You know, if you look at the first couple of years that Nintendo started putting out these Nintendo Directs, Sony and Microsoft were still doing the big stage production, showing a bunch of trailers. And in fact, I mean, even last year they were doing that. True. And it's just rolling trailer after trailer. Interestingly, that's essentially what the partner showcase is. Or the, you know, I mean, if you look at how Nintendo does it, it's just a heck of a lot more streamlined. It's funny because it's almost like Nintendo then has gone full circle. They're like, there's still a need because in the Wii U era, third parties dropped them like they were hot. And I think Nintendo's saying, hey, look, this is a way that we can still promote all of your content in addition to our own. And I think it's actually successful for the reasons you shared, though I would agree it does dilute the brand in so much as people will probably go, okay, there's a lot of these now and they're not as special. So to get something of this level with this many reveals was very special. Maybe we should dive into the Direct then, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
What was the first thing that they showed?
So they started.
Was it what I think it?
Yeah, they started by showing gameplay from the original Super Mario Brothers, and then
Yeah.
they turned that into a Game & Watch.
Right. Oh my gosh. What is it? What is it?
So the story
How
of
do
the
you even
Game &
describe
Watch
it?
is so interesting because Gunpei Yokoi, one of Nintendo's greatest inventors, he's on a train and he notices another businessman that's playing with his calculator. And he's sitting here going, okay, there has to be a better way. And so he goes and he invents the Game & Watch. And these are just little games. They're not meant to be, the games that we think of today. They're just meant to be little games that you play while you're on a bus or a train or while you're in a taxi. And so you play these, and then they also double as a watch. And that's why they're called the Game & Watch. And the Game & Watch was the debut for the D-pad as we know it today, that cross-shaped D-pad. And that's
And it was
why
essentially a calculator, right? It was basically a fancy calculator, LCD panel, super low technology, but easy to produce, and they could come up with all kinds of creative things to do with it.
yeah. So I thought it was really interesting when they're like, it includes a cross-shaped D-pad. And I was like,
Yeah.
only people who know that story are going to get why that line is in the direct, that this was where the
Yeah.
cross-shaped D-pad came from.
What did you have before? You had the joystick. You had this big stick that you're, trying to maneuver around, and suddenly you have this really elegant little thing that could fit in your pocket, and that's where the Game & Watch comes from. It includes a version of, what is it called? Mario, or no, it's called Ball?
Ball. Yep,
just
the
called
game
Ball?
was called Ball.
Ball. Just Ball. That's it. Super
Yep.
easy, super simple. It's essentially a juggling game, and you're kind of this lanky character. And the only difference here, I guess there's two differences. One is this is not the LCD panel where there are these elements that can be turned on or off. This is an actual, I'm assuming, like a cheap TFT screen, probably something like that.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Something
Something like that. And but with enough resolution that they can kind of approximate that. You can see some pixelation and stuff. And then the main character of Mr. Game & Watch. There we go. That's who we're talking about, playing ball. And they just replaced Mr. Game & Watch's head with Mario. That's really the only difference that I've seen with Ball as they've shown it. But it also comes with Super Mario Brothers, which I thought was a really cool addition. They didn't have to do that, but they throw in the original Super Mario Brothers, and they also throw in the Lost Levels, as we know it out here, which is Super Mario Brothers 2 in Japan, and they put that in there. It's very similar graphics, so it makes a lot of sense. And both those games are on there, plus Ball. So you actually have a pretty nice, very simple, elegant little system. It just looks cool. Nintendo's really big into re-releasing these old devices and old controllers and things like that right now. And I just think it was a really smart move. It's kind of like a Game & Watch Mini or a Game & Watch Classic Edition, but not, if that makes any sense. It's like a weird hybrid. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It has a compilation of games. It has some features. I like the color scheme. It has a Famicom color scheme, and so we have that. I want it because I've never actually beaten the Lost Levels, so I would love it just to practice. Because remember, this device is just there so that you can practice something while you're, on the go, while you're waiting for, a taxi to come or something like that. I would love to practice a few stages of Lost Levels or Super Mario Brothers 2 just so that I can get better at the game and eventually beat it.
Take a 10-minute break, you could kind of try your speedrunning strats while you're at work, Like, hey, I'm gonna take 10, I'll be back, Yeah, beat Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
So this is releasing November 13th. And right as of the recording of this, there are no pre-orders to my knowledge, right?
Yeah, I'm still looking for one.
Right. I believe they are open for pre-orders in Europe, maybe in Japan, but not in the United States yet. So when they do become available, I'm going to try and snatch this ASAP. I'm really excited about it. I think it's just a quirky, fun little device. I'm a big fan of having something kind of physical, and yeah, I want it.
Oh yeah, me too. It's gonna retail for about $50, and yeah, it's on my list of, I need to be good for Christmas so that I can get one too.
Right? And actually, speaking of price, I don't think that's a bad price. People might balk at it because, yes, you could get essentially, people say, oh, you could get a new Switch game for that. But you're getting hardware, you're getting something you can take around with you, you're getting something that's unique. You're getting, obviously, an incredibly classic game and its sequel that many people love, plus a Game & Watch game, which, yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
You know?
It definitely has that collector's price, and they say right in the direct that this is a limited release. So it's definitely for collectors. That's the market. It's the guys like you and me that, as far as the value and the practicality, no, we just want it because it's a cool thing, and we want to have it.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
that's still good enough for me. I still want it.
Yep, that works. It works. Okay, so then we moved on. I believe the very next thing was Super Mario 3D World Plus, and then we find out what the plus is. But first, we just know, hey, Super Mario 3D World is coming. What did you think of that?
So I remember watching it going, okay, we all expected this game to get ported to the Switch eventually. They're going to have to retool a few things to get it from the Wii U over to the Switch. And I was watching it going, okay, I already have this game. I've already played this game. I like this game. If they're going to get me to purchase it again, they're going to have to give a little bonus, a little plus, if you will, to get me to repurchase this game again. What was your initial impression as they were revealing this?
So I would say that out of all of the 3D Mario games out there, this is my favorite.
Ooh, hot
So
take.
I know that's, yeah, it's. I haven't heard many people say that. I think what I love about it is that it feels like such a wonderful blend between 2D and 3D Mario, and it just played well. It was one of my favorite games on the Wii U. It's one that I always expected Nintendo to bring to the Switch, but then I also kind of almost appreciated it more, being that it wasn't just sort of ported and then that was it, and it's like, oh well, this was just kind of a little hidden gem, I would say. And so when I saw it, actually, if I'm honest, my first reaction was, oh, that means a lot more people will be able to stream it. and and then I obviously I was like, well, you know what? That means many more people are going to be able to play it, because not a lot of people played it on the Wii U. I know one thing I'm going to really miss is Miiverse integration.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
It was so
Every
good in
time
this
you-
game.
Yeah, every time you beat a level, they would show all of the reactions from people who had also beaten that. Yeah, I forgot about that in there. Yeah.
And I remember too, in the prompts that they would give you, like they actually give you prompts. If you went to post something, it would be like, make a haiku from the point of view of Bowser or something like that. Like, it was just like
Right.
weird Nintendo randomness, but it was so fun. And I found myself probably spending equally as much time writing on the Miiverse as playing the levels. I don't know. It was fun. It was very Nintendo, very quirky. So I'm gonna miss that, but no, I was excited for it. And even if it was just a straight port, nothing else, this is one that I, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I would probably pick up so that I have it on the Switch so I can play it portably and kind of revisit it, because I haven't played it for a couple years. But then that wasn't it. 'Cause then they show this
Then
kind
that
of
little plus sign comes up, and that's what
Oh,
I was waiting
yeah.
for. And they zoom into the plus sign, and that changes
Yeah.
the scene into the new reveal, which they didn't give us much information on, but it had that tone that, grabs your interest. Anytime Nintendo comes up with anything halfway spooky, it's like, oh, what is this? Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you run into a haunted house in Pokemon, you're just like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen because this is Pokemon and something is going to happen. And
It's spooky, and yet it has these adorable trees, the little cat pine trees.
yeah,
They're so cute.
yeah. So we have
I want
rain, trees with cat ears, and then we have this kind of shrine-looking thing with Cat Mario in front of it, and then the title comes up, Bowser's Fury, and I'm thinking, okay, that's enough. They got me. I'm going to get it. It releases in December, and then they didn't even give us all the details on it. I was watching
No,
stuff.
we really don't know what Bowser's Fury is.
Yeah, but it has that spooky, vibe to it, and that was enough to get me. I was like, okay, I'll repurchase it because I want to know what this is. So, trailer success.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling all it is they just showed us the title screen. They just there's not even a playable level. It's just the title screen is going through that, and then the little Cat Mario and Bowser's Fury. They're like, I got it. I'm gonna buy it.
That's right. That's right.
No, and I gotta just also point out, brilliant name, because there was a moment, like I knew what it was, but because it's this game, obviously the cat power up was huge. I'm like, Bowser's Furry.
I thought the same thing. I was like, Fury. Yep. No, I got it. I got it.
Fury, like nice dad joke, Nintendo.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, we don't know what it is. It could be a whole other world. Obviously the game is staged much like the classic games, where you kind of go through these worlds and you have an overhead map that you can walk all over and explore. It could be that. It could be that this is a level that we're seeing. It could be that maybe you get transported to a 3D overworld map. It could be that they actually have an overhead view of it, and this is that. But because they were doing this whole video, they sort of took the camera and controlled it and made it like cinematic. That I don't know. I think it's going to be a world, though. That's my guess.
So, yeah, it's a good guess. I try not to guess with Nintendo because they.
Yeah.
It feels like a shot in the dark every time.
Yeah, like I said, it's probably going to be the title screen. It's the new title screen. That's it.
Yeah. But there was even more details. Like later we learned that there's online multiplayer. So instead of, just playing locally, you can get on the Nintendo Online service and play with 3 other people. And I thought that's really cool. They should have had that in there. And if they did, I missed it. And then
No, I think you're right. I don't think they shared that.
Yeah. And then later they revealed a Cat Mario and Cat Peach amiibo. Have you seen those?
Right. Yeah. Well, you can kind of see these are just some of the piles of amiibo that I'm still trying to get my shelving up to display, but I'm a sucker for amiibo. And I saw those and I have to have those.
Yeah. And I was, they could have thrown that in, but they didn't. I found out about it later and I was like, oh, I do want these. So, I just end up wanting a lot of the stuff in the Direct.
And that is that's gonna be a running theme here. But yeah, that releases February 12th, 2021. I'm gonna say if you have never played this game, then I know regardless of how this port ends up, regardless of what the new content is, if you haven't played the original, pick this up. I mean, it's Nintendo. I'm sure it's gonna be good. They can't break a really already great game. I think you'll like it. And also, I did see a couple of comparison videos out there where they said the game's probably going to run a little faster than the Wii U version. They were actually comparing footage, and there is a desync where it looks like maybe about 30% to 20% faster. Process or not process. Whatever. Like the game runs 30 to 20%. Or 20 to 30% faster on the Switch. And I believe even on the Wii U, some people said the game sometimes feels a little sluggish. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't necessarily think that was even something I noticed or bothered with, but I could see it running just ever so slightly faster being a good thing.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Every time I hear something like that, I think, oh, the speedrun leaderboard is wide open now for people who want to pick it up. And new version runs faster. It's gonna, that's just like a board wipe on the speedruns for that game. That'll be really interesting to see that change when it comes out.
Okay, so the next we got something completely out of left field.
Oh, so they go back to Super Mario Brothers again, and I know other people get tired of seeing it, but I really like it. And so they go, okay, Super Mario Brothers, and then they bring up the 35 players, and they run it, and based on the way the UI is set up and everything, you quickly realize this is Tetris 99, but with Super Mario. And it just comes off as a really cool idea to me. I was like, okay, I can get behind this. I really like this. This is going to, because the reason people get tired of the game is because it's the same. And I was like, this is how you change it and refresh it and get it to a point where, just like with Tetris, people have played single-player Tetris. They've played multiplayer Tetris. Well, now we have massive multiplayer Tetris. And now we have that same refresh with Super Mario Brothers. And I think it's going to come off really well. I loved everything about this announcement except for the very end of it.
Ooh, oh yeah. So we'll get to that in a second. Now might be a good time, by the way, to say, I mean, this is classic Mario. And what's that on your hat there, sir?
So, yeah, this is one of my favorite hats because they've stitched out the pixels for Mario on there. So, yeah, very, very cool. Very, I knew I had to wear it for this. Yeah, break it out for the occasion.
So, interestingly, you can also tell there's a lot of, Super Mario Maker elements in the UI of this, in addition to Tetris 99. Obviously, kind of at its core, it's the two sides, with the gameplay in the center, and, you can choose which opponent that you're attacking or using a certain special ability against, and then who you're defending against or whatnot. But even like the little course icon and the little I assume the amount of players icon on the side looks very reminiscent of Super Mario Maker, as well as just the yellow and everything, and sort of this bar across the bottom that's like your progress bar. And it seems like this is a wise way to go, because we know that Nintendo's online servers are still not the most robust in the industry, okay?
True.
Shall we say?
Right.
I mean, and if you take, the NES Online, we know that there's lag that is introduced when you're playing, especially if you're playing against someone on Wi-Fi. But the Tetris 99, the Tetris 99 gameplay works well for online because you're not reliant on these, pixel perfect placements, keeping track of where is this person on the screen at all times. Tetris 99, you're doing something on your screen, and then someone else is doing something on their screen, and things are sent back and forth. But frankly, if there's some little delay in that, it's not critical. It's not like a race or something where, again, that perfect accuracy is going to be important. So I imagine this eliminates lag issues, if anyone's concerned about that. Because at first I thought that too. I was like, wait, Battle Royale, Mario, this is going to, grind to a halt. But I don't think we're going to have any of that, because you're not necessarily combating one another that way. You're doing your thing, but keeping an eye on other people, and there's going to be special challenges. And it's kind of like the NES Remix game that we had a while back.
Oh,
where it
yes.
was like,
So good.
Yeah, which I loved that.
Yep.
So good. But there was... obviously this is going to be tied to Nintendo Switch Online, and there are still 7-day free trials available for anyone who's getting a Switch. Membership is still pretty inexpensive at $20, $19.99 for a year compared to other services. However, really I think probably the biggest disappointment is it's not a permanent game.
What a bummer. Now,
Yeah.
as I was, when they said, limited release, I was thinking, okay, that means it goes up for a limited time and then it goes away. I was like, that's like, Disney with the Disney Vault. Okay, we're going to release this video. Yeah. We're going to print it. We're going to send it out. And then when it sells out, then it's gone. That's what my mind has been conditioned for. But as I was listening to other people, they were saying, okay, well, this is very reminiscent of Tetris 99 again. I don't know if they specifically said it was going to be a limited release or a limited exclusivity or what, but after a certain period, you could buy the game. And you could still play the free version online, but there was bonuses if you bought it, like a single-player offline mode or against bots and things like that. And I thought, okay, if that's what it means, then I would be okay with it. Because I really don't want to play the game, enjoy the game, and then have the game taken away from me. That's not fun. But if they're going to, okay, play the game, enjoy the game, and then buy the game later if you want to keep playing it, I could be on board with that. If it's buy the physical version so you can get the base game and some perks, I could be on board with that. But the fact is, we don't know what it means. All they said was limited release. So all of these guesses give me hope, but I have to wait for more details. But in the meantime, I'm definitely going to play it.
So it says, and I got a screenshot here.
Mm-hmm.
It says available October 1st, 2020. So that's coming up. We'll get ready. Maybe we'll have to stream that, day one. But it says playable until March 31st, 2021.
Yeah, doesn't it just make it sound like it's going away?
Yeah, playable until. It's got to be. I mean, and maybe Nintendo's going to find that this is huge. People love it. It's a hit, and then they're going to backpedal or say, well, surprise, we're going to make it released for longer. Or we're going to do something else. But it does sound like this is just intended to be a fun little thing. And maybe it's because Nintendo says, hey, look, we don't want this to be an ongoing thing. We know it's not going to be as big as a main Mario title. It's probably not going to be something people are going to come back to a lot. Let's just put it out there for when it is, when there's some hype around it, get people interested again in Mario. Maybe they'll want to pick up a few other games or whatnot and move on. But it is disappointing to me. I always hate when games go, and right now, something like this, it's so hard to archive something like this. And it seems like such a great idea and a game that is so Nintendo that I just want to make sure that people down the line can experience it. It's disappointing, but we'll see. I'm going to play it. Maybe I hate it, and I don't even care.
Yeah,
Tetris 99 is a hard
happen.
game, so I don't play it nearly as much as some of my friends, but this game I'm excited for. We'll give it a shot and probably be really sad when it goes away.
Yeah, I expect that week before it goes away to have everybody come back for a fond farewell.
Ah, yes, indeed. So the next announcement, this one really, really surprised me. Because, I mean, again, Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I've been playing with this thing, like I said, and one of the cool things with this is, Mana Sprout and I were at the table and we're putting out all of her Lego and we're making these elaborate little stages, and then Mario's clobbering along and he's doing his little there we go. He's doing his little hops, and it feels like this is toys to life. In a very different kind of way. This is like bringing a video game into the world as opposed to bringing a toy into a video game, and or bringing a video game into a toy instead of a toy into a video game, if that makes sense. And my favorite franchise is The Legend of Zelda. I love it, but I always say Mario Kart is a close second. And it may not even be a second. Sometimes it's tied. There are periods of time where the only thing I want to play is Mario Kart. So we're seeing Mario Kart from a first-person perspective. What was the first thing you thought?
Well, they start it with, what is this? And it's a big question mark. And so they start it with this first-person perspective Mario Kart. And I think that was my first thought. Okay, what am I watching? I see a guy playing a Switch, and I see Mario Kart. Am I seeing Mario Kart 9? I don't know what this is yet.
Yeah. And when I first saw it, I was, kind of first taken aback by the fact that it's Mario Kart. What is this? What is this? But then it pretty quickly dawned on me, those are interesting graphics. Like, it looks like a house that Mario's driving through. And so then my mind starts going. I'm like, wait a minute, is this something tied into either the VR, the VR headset? Is it like some kind of augmented reality thing, with the VR headset?
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, well, maybe is it? I couldn't fathom what it was at first. But then I realized, okay, wait a minute. And you see this little Mario Kart just go across the screen. This is a toy. This is like a race car. This is an RC car.
Yeah, at that point, this became my favorite announcement of the whole direct, because I'm sitting here going, okay, here we have a car, and it's a remote control car, and I remember playing with remote control cars as a kid, and I really like them. And then you can see the kid, and he moves the joystick, and that moves the wheels on the car, and I'm like, okay, this is really cool. And then it goes from the switch screen onto the camera of the cart, and then I'm sitting here going, okay, here we have remote control. I started calling it, I was like, oh my gosh, we have Mario Kart IRL version. This is the in real life version of Mario Kart. I'm way excited.
Yeah.
And then they bring out the gates, and then they bring out the Luigi car. And then I'm sitting here going, oh my goodness, just like you and Mana Sprout, I was like, I have 3 girls. I was like, this, how many players can you play? They've got 2 players on here. Can you go up to 4? I'd really like it if you could go up to 4. Later I learned you can go up to 4. I'm very excited. Then it dawns on me. I was like,
are there other carts?
So there's Mario and Luigi. I'm guessing if it does well that they will do a Peach cart or a Toad cart.
Maybe, yeah. Okay.
So
Yoshi, maybe.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting here going, okay. Later, when I had time to think about it, I was like, okay, I'm going to get the Mario Kart and the Luigi Kart, and then I'm going to wait and see if they have other characters. Because somehow I have to wrangle up more switches, because it's only 1 switch per cart. And so I'm like, okay, I have 1. My brother has 1. 2 switches, no problem. If they come out with a Peach Kart, got to get that one. My other brother has a Switch, no problem. Okay, if they come out with a Toad Kart or a Yoshi Kart, I got to get that one. Got to start finding another Switch. That's okay, I have lots of friends. I'm sure I can get it. But the reason I was so excited is because I'm sitting here going, okay, you can build a course. As soon as they did drive through the gates, that makes a custom course. And they showed all these different designs. That's when I lost it. Mind blown. And I was like, okay, my whole main floor is made of hardwood. We could use the whole floor for that. I am in this wonderful unfinished basement with lots of wide open space. Not only can you just make things on the floor, I wonder if you can make ramps, if you can make an incline and then go down it. Maybe you can have the cart jump. Maybe you can, set up I can make all the themed courses I want. I really like Mega Man. Now I'm going to have a Mega Man themed course for Mario Kart. If we already have a Legend of Zelda course, but I was like, what if I want that? What if I want a Mana Collection course? What if I just want an NES course and I can take my NES carts and use those to make a course? And I was just running with it in my mind, and I'm like, oh, this is going to make so much cool stuff. I'm going to play with my kids. They're going to love it. I'm going to love it. And, then I was just start thinking, okay, well, I better save my money and get on Santa's nice list, because I know these carts are going to be pricey, and sure enough, they turn out to be $100 per cart, but I'm still way excited to play it with my kids, with my nieces and nephews, people that come over. I'm just so excited for it. It's going to be way fun.
So I wonder what the quality of the carts are, because if you think about RC racing, I don't know much about it, but it's a pretty expensive hobby. People drop, $1,000 easily into into the hobby. And if you wanted to get 2 carts and 2 switches, you're probably looking about $1,000 right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So an expensive thing indeed. That's what kind of sucked. I got to be honest. That's what kind of sucked the life out of this announcement for me, was recognizing 2 things. I think 1, it's going to be expensive. 2, I'm such a collector perfectionist that to use this and recognize that it's going to be getting damaged and scuffed and skidding around corners and banging into things, there's a part of me that has to just give that up if I'm going to play it. I want to play it. I would like to get it. It's probably not something I'm going to it's not something I'm going to pre-order. I can't afford it right now. But I love the concept. I think it's brilliant. I think it would be a lot of fun. Maybe when Mana Sprout's a little bit older too, she might enjoy it more. So it might work out to wait a little bit if they have it for a while. Price is about the only thing for me. That's about the only thing that kind of bothers me. I mean, I joke about the, scuffing it up, but really, price is tough. It would be really cool if there was maybe some kind of Labo integration with this. Again, maybe through a VR headset or, there's just a lot of options there. But even little things you can make, little set pieces, they could put out a Labo. And because that's almost what those
the gate things?
What are they called? The gate, yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost what they look like to me. But I think they're plastic.
I thought of that too. I thought those looked like they could be Labo. But yeah, I mean, they brought Labo support to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so I think they could
Right.
totally patch in Labo support for one of these for sure.
So I think this firmly for me this is firmly placed in the I'm still wanting more details category, um, because of the price. If it was something where it was like you get all you need in a $60 bundle, I wouldn't even bat an eye.
Hmm.
But there's something about getting to that $100 price point, and I'm not even sure what it all comes with. I'm not even sure what it all does. I think there's more I want to know. Like if it's just, hey, look, you can sort of use this remote control car that has a camera and you can watch it on your Switch and control it with your Switch. It's like, that's cool. I don't know that it's $100 cool for me right now, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Hey, yeah, $100 is definitely a barrier. So
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. I hope this is successful. It's launching October 16th, 2020. Yeah. And then where did we go?
so yeah, then they started saying, "Oh, okay, well, here's a bunch of other ways to celebrate," and they start making all these other announcements.
Super Mario and Animal Crossing. This is huge to me. March 2021, we're going to get this great convergence of two incredible IPs, some of my favorite Nintendo IPs right now. Super Mario All-Stars coming to the Nintendo Switch Online collection, Super NES
That's
Nintendo
right,
Switch
that's
Online
right.
collection. Super Mario All-Stars, the classic Super Nintendo kind of upgrade to the classic trilogy, original trilogy, plus the Lost Levels, the first time that people in the West got to play it. Everything was made with these real refined 16-bit graphics. I think it's one of the best ways to play the original Mario games, even though I grew up with the originals. I love the Super Nintendo. I love the 16-bit graphics. And I think Super Mario All-Stars is an excellent collection. It's nice to see that you can now play it on Nintendo Switch Online in addition to the originals and maybe compare on one system without any further cost than $20 a year for the service.
Yeah, the Super Mario All Stars cart was the first time I beat the original Super Mario Brothers, because on the NES cart you play through the whole thing. If you get a game over, you go back to the start. But on the Super Nintendo cart, they give you 5 lives instead of 3, if I'm remembering that right, and you
I
could
think you're
save
right.
your progress. And so,
And go back right where you left off.
well, you start in the world. So if you die on
Right.
7-4, then you go back to 7-1 instead of the title screen.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, and so this was the first way that I beat it. And so I always thought that was cool. I love comparing them, and it's exciting to have it up there. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking that out too.
I think this was the first time I ever played through all the levels of Super Mario Brothers because
Mm.
I was big into like using the warp pipe, It was
Oh
like
yeah,
I was skipping around all the time. So but it was cool because with this it was easy to kind of track your progress, see the worlds. You could go back to levels you had done in the past, and so it was really nice and convenient. So I remember playing through that. I think it might have been I don't remember. It might have been, well, who knows. It's a fun game. I'm going to go back. I'm going to play it. I think it holds up still. It's been a while since I played it. I never got it on the Wii. It was a limited edition to
oh yeah,
celebrate
I missed it
Mario
there
back
too.
then.
Yeah, the 25th.
I just, for me, yeah, it was the 25th. Yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Holy cow, I'm old. But then we got some more All-Stars news. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Okay. This was one people have been there's been rumors about, and people have been talking about it. But what we have here is a collection of 3 3D games. We've got Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Wow.
Oh,
In one cart or one
right.
download.
One
So,
set.
yeah. Right. Couple of things probably worth mentioning. This is 16:9 aspect ratio, screen aspect ratio. So Nintendo has adjusted the games accordingly. I believe, I don't know that they've announced the resolution. I'm going to guess 720p, but it could be 1080p. I don't know that we know yet. It's probably too early to tell.
I'm sure someone will tell us in
And
the comments. By the time this
so,
goes up, we'll know it.
right. And like Super Mario Galaxy is, you can use the two Joy-Con controllers, so you have that waggle support, for the Wii remote. And it comes with a whole album that you can play of Super Mario music. So it's all the soundtracks of those three games. It's available in a physical form from September 18th this month for a limited time. And it'll be available for download as well for a limited time, right?
Yep, there it is again. Limited release. I don't know. I mean, it's one thing to stop printing the physical version, but having a digital limited release, I mean, they must want to revisit these games later and try to get them out again, either with some enhanced port, like taking Super Mario 64 and remaking the assets, or something else. But that's the only reason I can think of that Nintendo would do the limited release for the digital version. So
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. I was taking it more in the direction of the vault. This is a classic Nintendo game. If we don't make it so readily available, it will continue to build up that mystique, and people are going to want it even more the next time it's available. However, I think you're right. See, I was assuming that meant, years down the road, a new console, and then they release it in some way. I didn't think about the fact that they might be actually planning a full remaster of some of these games. Of course, Super Mario 64 would be incredible for a remaster. We did have the remake on the DS, and that was pretty cool. But to have a full console remake would be amazing. They could just continue to build on that. It'd be neat to see some of the others get some additional upgrades as well. I mean, even Super Mario Galaxy, it's such a beautiful game now, but with a few little updates, maybe you could probably think that it's a brand new modern game because it's just that good. But I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, I know I'm way excited because when I was growing up, we did Nintendo, and then I played a lot of Super Nintendo at friends' house. But then when the PlayStation came out, my parents got that, and we kind of swapped over to Sony. So I didn't have a Nintendo 64 or a GameCube. Now, I played Super Mario 64 when it was ported to the Wii U, and you could play it there. And so I played that version. I also played the version on the DS, but I didn't have a GameCube, and I have never played Super Mario Sunshine. It has never been released on another system. It has been locked on the GameCube. So now that we finally have another port of this game, this time to the Switch, it'll be my first time visiting it. So I've heard lots of things about it, some good, some not so good, but I definitely want to play it. I definitely want to try it. And so I have pre-ordered this game. I was surprised it was coming out in like 2 weeks, but I
know.
I got my name on the list.
Yeah, me too. I've got it. I pre-ordered it through Best Buy because that was the first one I saw that went
too.
live.
That's
Yep,
right.
there you
You
go.
other retailers, get your pre-orders sites up and ready because
That's it.
that's how Best Buy got
if
mine.
they'd been a little bit faster.
Yep.
Yeah, if they were a little bit faster. But it's like I saw it go live, and I'm like, I'm not taking any chance, especially since Nintendo said it was going to be limited.
Yeah.
But I actually got an N64 a little bit later. My first, I got it around the time Ocarina of Time came out. It was the Christmas before Ocarina of Time came out. I got it with with Star Wars Rogue Squadron. And I had really those two games for a very long time until I started collecting more games later. But at the time, it was later when I got it. When the GameCube came around, I had sort of fallen out of playing games, and so I didn't really play any games that generation and skipped the GameCube myself. But then returning to playing in the Wii era, I made sure I got a Wii with the backwards compatibility, and I picked up a slew of GameCube games. And I actually sat for some kids, babysitting, and they had a GameCube. And I remember playing Super Mario Sunshine and thinking it was super cool at the time. and also a little bit complicated, and also the controller was really unusual, and also I didn't know how to play this thing, and also it was really cool, but I wanted it, but I didn't want it, and it was like all these complex feelings. So it kind of became something that as soon as I got a Wii, I had to go out and get the game, and I got it finally. I've played it. It's actually a really cool game, really unique, a lot of fun, and I'm glad it's coming. But many people I know, I've got some friends that I've met through the Miiverse, met through streaming, who say Super Mario Galaxy is the best 3D Mario game of all time. That's just what they claim.
Oh yeah.
They're probably right.
Yeah, by the time the Wii came out, we had, as a family, gone back to Nintendo. So we had a Wii, and I played through Super Mario Galaxy, and I really liked it. So yeah, it's definitely one that I'm on board for revisiting. I know a lot of people were saying, well, where's Super Mario Galaxy 2? I think that Nintendo, when it comes to bundling their games together, they want to make it good, but they don't want to make it too good. This might be another title where they're like, okay, we'll revisit it with another release later at another time. Maybe they release it as a standalone download, some kind of DLC, but it, I know that people wanted it in there, but I can see why Nintendo didn't. But
So I'm going to preface this by saying, if that's the case, I'm okay with it. I think it's a strange choice, but I'm okay with it. However, I'm going to tell you, I really believe that there's a high probability Nintendo has Super Mario Galaxy 2 as an unlockable.
oh, you think so?
I really think so.
Ooh.
It's something I think it just would be so Nintendo to do. It's like if you beat all the games, if you get a certain amount of stars in all games, you're gonna get Super Mario Galaxy 2. Boom, right there on the game card. I think we're gonna find out in a couple of weeks because people are gonna obviously data mine the game card. We'll
Yep.
know day one, but I think it would make a lot of sense. It's strange to me that they didn't include it because really, if you look at the 3D games, that's a very distinct grouping if you include Super Mario Galaxy 2. Because everything after that started to kind of veer off, branch off, do different things. Like if you look at the
Right.
original Super Mario All-Stars, it's a nice, tidy box set. Yeah, it doesn't include all the Game Boy games. It doesn't include this. But the games fit together. These games fit together, but also Super Mario Galaxy 2 would really fit in this. So I think
Yeah.
they've got it in there some way. I don't know.
It definitely
That's my take.
it definitely completes the set. I know a lot of people
Yeah.
were talking about, the value and Nintendo holding on to it. To me, one other line of thinking on that was maybe they just ran out of time. I know that
Yeah.
with people working from home, I mean, I'm a programmer, I work from home. It's harder to coordinate with your team when you're not all in the office. We know that this has derailed the development of Super Smash Brothers Challenge Pack 2. We were supposed to have more information on the characters by now, but we don't. And so maybe, I mean, the 35th anniversary, they've kind of shifted it. I really think it was supposed to start in the summer and go till the end of the year, and they've kind of shifted it to be now to like the first quarter of next year to include February. And they might have just ran out of time, and that's the reason that it's not in the collection. But I like the idea of
That's a
having
really
it
good point.
I like the idea of having it as an unlockable.
It'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be awesome. It'd be a great surprise. I'm going to not get my hopes up too much, but I think it's a distinct probability. Maybe more so than a possibility. I really appreciate that you have kept me grounded in all of this and just put us in the context of, COVID-19 as we are in that world right now. And the fact that, well, yeah, this has put a lot of things on hold. And, for example, I'm having the hardest darn time getting a TurboGrafx 16 Mini.
Oh yeah.
Just as an aside, the darn thing on the 3rd, it was supposed to go up, back up for pre-orders, and it just seems like it goes on and off every few minutes, and I always miss it. And I'm like, darn, I really want to get one of those. Anyway, that's an aside. I could totally see that they ran out of time, because if you think about it, the year of Luigi during the Wii U era was almost bigger than this. Like they did
Right.
more stuff for a prolonged period of time than they're doing for this right now. But this is what they can do, and that's fair. They need to have time with their families and time to be safe and healthy and all that good stuff. And let's not forget that right now, this would bring the full tally of Mario, of mainline titles to Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Brothers The Lost Levels, Super Mario World, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe, Super Mario 3D World, and Super Mario Odyssey. That's 11 mainline titles, all available to play on your Nintendo Switch. And that's not even including Mario Brothers, which, of course, is where it kind of, it's where it almost began, because there was a thing before, but it was kind of where it began, but it was not. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, if you really want to be technical about it, Donkey Kong's on there too, Donkey Kong Jr. didn't really, but Mario's in it. Whatever, anyway. And we have NES Open that they pointed out. We have Dr. Mario. They had a little screen with all these covers showing, we've got Super Mario Kart. We've got Super Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. We've got the Rabbids Kingdom Battle game, and Mario Tennis Aces, and Super Mario Party, and Super Mario Maker 2, and Mario and Sonic at the Summer Olympics, Super Mario Origami King, and of course now Super Mario Brothers 35 and Super Mario Kart, or Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. We never actually said the name of that, by the way. Weird name.
I know. I keep calling it IRL version, but yeah.
Yeah.
Live home circuit.
That's it. And that was the Direct. There's a lot to talk about. I really, really enjoyed talking with you about all this. I feel like you and I just got into a groove. I've really appreciated your videos. I think you do an excellent job. You've got a lot of great hot takes, a lot of insight that I think is really excellent. I can tell that you are a fan and a player. You take time to inform yourself and come up with creative things to share on YouTube. So everybody, please do check out 8-Bit Dad 7DC. We'll have links down here, probably flashing on the screen right now. Where can people find you? What do you do? Shout yourself out. I want people to go and check out your channels. What is it that people need to do?
Oh, I'm 8-Bit Dad 7DC everywhere on all the socials. I make stuff on YouTube. I post smaller things on my Twitter, and then I stream once a week just so that I can talk stuff like this with people in my chat. We talk about things as they come up, and we have a lot of fun. But it's been wonderful to be here. Thanks so much, man. I had a blast.
Yeah, me too. I would love to do more of this. Everybody, if you liked this kind of content, if you liked this interaction with Seth here, please let me know down in the comments. Write something. Do good. Be well. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.